morning, y'all. We're still heading up the Elk Trail here in the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. Glad you're coming with us. This is our last Devo that we're going to do here on this trail. Actually, we're going to be looking at Psalm chapter 10. So we're about, maybe halfway up the mountain. We're going to get really close to the top, find a good place to sit down with you, and look at Psalm chapter 10. So grab your Bible, open it up, get ready, grab something to drink, whatever, and we'll be back with you in a second. Break here. Sit down, do chapter 10 with you. I don't think I've mentioned that this trail, Elk Trail, total is like 1.25 miles up to the top, and then you just go right back down. So it's about 2.5 miles altogether. So I don't know, I've probably gone most of the way of a mile so far. A good time to catch my breath before we get to the top and look at chapter 10. I kind of chose to do chapter 10 kind of in the shade here in the forest here. I feel it kind of fits, especially the first few verses of chapter 10. It begins this way. Why, O Lord, do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? A little direct, right? It's almost accusatory. And he's saying this towards God. You know, God invites our questions. I don't know that I'd go so far as to say accusations, but God has no problem with us bringing our anxiety and our fears and our questions and our confusion to Him. That's what David does here. Specifically, David does it in the context of looking and seeing people doing evil in the world. Verse 3, for the wicked boasts of the desires of his soul, and the one greedy for gain curses and renounces the Lord. See, David sees all this wickedness around him, and he doesn't understand why the Lord is not answering. I mean, they're boasting, essentially, that God doesn't exist, or that if He does exist, He doesn't care what I do, or He's unable to answer to what I do. Goes on over the next several verses. Most of chapter 10 actually focuses, rather than on God, on these people and their boasts and their arrogance and their wickedness. I know you can't possibly relate to that. You can't look out at the world you live in and see the arrogance of boastful people, certain in their own minds that they will not be held to account for their wickedness, for their sinfulness, for their greed, for the ways in which they manipulate others, oppress others, use others. Some of these people we see kind of in far-off places. Some are very near to us, in our own families, in our own workplaces. And we see this, and so God must see this. And so this is the place from where David says, why are you standing far off, God? Where have you gone? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? These people are challenging you. It's almost as if David is thinking back to when he heard the taunts of Goliath, taunting the whole nation of Israel, and he looks around at his brothers and he's, who's going to answer this man? And now he's turned this towards God. God, the world is taunting you. How long will you stay in silence? How long will you stand far off? He goes through all of these thoughts and questions and confusions. I just want us to end where David ends. Verse 16. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations perish from his land. Verse 16 is the whole chapter. You connect verse 1 and verse 16. The Lord is king, which means he is sovereign, which means he sees all, knows all, and is in control of all. He is not silent because he has been silenced. He is not inactive because he is incapable of acting. And in fact, he is very much active. It just doesn't always mean that we're always able to perceive the ways in which he moves. Our God is king. And it's not a temporary moment in time. It's not that he was king during Bible times and now he's just kind of hanging out somewhere else. The Lord is king forever and ever. The Lord is king over my life. He is king over their lives. And the wicked will perish. Until that day comes, our God is willing to hear our cries. He does not push us far off, nor does he stand far off. He is with us. He is near us. He hears, he comforts, he ministers. And there will be a day where he administers justice because the Lord, Yahweh, is king forever and ever. Say that to yourself, to your children, to your husband, your wife, to your coworkers. Say that out loud this week. In the face of things you don't understand, in the face of evil, you're incapable to correct on your own. Say those words. Say them now with me. The Lord is king forever and ever. It's been a lot of fun doing this. Going up this trail with you. And I don't know where we'll be next week. We'll be somewhere. But I hope you come back for chapter 11. And meantime, I guess it's time for us to go on up to the top. We'll see you next week.